So in this class, I am going to demonstrate to you the different data types, fundamental data types in Python, and I am going to teach you what are variables in Python. Okay. Variable is a name associated with a value. You can consider a box, you wanted to transmit something or you want to pack something. There will be some content for that and you are putting it inside the box. You can consider the box to be the variable and the variable will contain some value attached to that. That is called as a variable. Say for example, I have a value 20. When I want to store this value of 20 inside A, I call A to be a variable. And 20 is the value that the variable holds. Okay, so this is what a variable means. So variable is a name in the source code that is associated with an area in the memory space that you can use to store data. In other words, whatever I explain to you, I'll explain to you in other words. That means that once you have a variable, there will be a memory space allocated in your program for a particular value, and that value will get saved in that particular memory space. So in simple terms, a variable is a name attached to a value. Unlike many other programming languages, you don't need to have a separate declaration for a variable in Python. Those who are familiar with C or C++, you might have noticed that integer x is equal to something or in such manner. You don't need to have any particular declaration for any variable in Python. Python automatically interprets the data type and sets it to that. Okay. So we have identifiers. Next important thing is we have identifiers in Python. Identifiers include the variable names. Identifiers also include the names that is given to classes, methods, and so on. Wherever you wanted to identify an object or a method or something like that, we call it as identifiers. So variable names are also identifiers. Variable names are also identifiers. And every variable is treated as an object in Python. So here I have declared a variable called as subject, SUB. I have given a value called as algorithmic thinking with Python. Okay. Now when I print subject, what I'll get? I'll get algorithmic thinking with Python. When I've declared a variable called a subject, and what I did, I'm printing that value. So I got it as algorithmic thinking with Python. Say you can, when you are using Spider, you can use print subject also. Okay. Print sub. Algorithmic thinking with Python. You can try this out and check whether the variables are getting printed. So here I am using a string variable, so I am using this in double quotes. Okay. Suppose I wanted another variable called as marks, and I'm giving it as 60.8, for example. I can print marks, I'll get it as 60.8. So variable is a name given to a value associated with the program. Okay. So I want marks to be 60.8. I'm giving it a value called as marks. Now I can do the same thing in Python shell. Say I'm giving x is equal to 20 y is equal to 30, and I wanted to print x plus y, I'll get the value as 50. Here what I am doing is that I am associating the value of 20 to a variable name x. X is the identifier or the variable name. I have given the value of 20 to x, I have given the value of 30 to y, and when I am adding these two numbers x plus y, I'll get the value of 50. I can put even another variable c is equal to x into y and x into y, and I can print c. So I'll get the value of x into y. Understood, all of you? All of you understood what is a variable in Python, or what is a variable in general? So here I've given another example. I've given c is equal to 3e8. What is this? I'll tell you as we go on. Lambda is equal to 2.3, f is equal to c by lambda, and I'm printing f. So lambda, c, f, all these things can be considered as variables. Okay, variable is a name placeholder to hold any type of data. You can hold any type of data. Unlike other programming languages, there is no need of explicitly declaring the type of variable. When you declare a variable, you can use as and when you like. Python automatically considers what data type is most suitable for that and puts it like that. So you don't need to have any other extra effort in declaring a variable. You can keep changing the type of variable as you go on. Okay. So here I've given examples of variables. I've used C float variable here, lambda. I've divided these two things and I've printed it. It's only an example. We'll understand more in detail when we study what is a float data type. Next is what are the rules that you have to follow when you declare a variable. A variable should contain only uppercase or lowercase letters, digits, or the character underscore. The name of the variable should begin with a letter. Underscore character is a letter. Upper and lower cases are treated as different. For example, you can declare two variables, one with capital and another one with small. For example, Sumitra, Sumitra are the first names, but in Python, they are two different variables. If you use capital letter, it is a different variable name. If you use a small letter, it is a different variable name. Okay. The name of the variable must not be any of the reserved keywords in Python. Okay. These are the rules to be followed while declaring a variable. I'll explain each of these rules one by one with examples. This is one of the most common questions that is usually asked in interviews. Which of the following is a valid variable name? Okay. So you should be able to explain why certain variables are not valid. These are the rules for declaring a variable. I'll teach you with examples when we come to the next slide, or in this class in future, after a few introduction to a few more topics. Okay, I'll teach you what is a valid variable and what is not a valid variable. Next, Data types in Python. What do you understand by data? What is data? Information. Any information. We have different types of information. Say for example, your name is an information. So what are data types? We have different types of data. Information is there. Data is nothing but a collection of information. For example, a student data form might contain so many important information about you. Say for example, it can contain your name, it can contain your age, it can contain your sex, it can contain your marks, it can contain your permanent address, can contain your phone number. Each of these things have different types of values. For example, name will contain strings, marks will contain float values, decimal numbers. Okay. So data types means what are the different types of information that you are going to save in a program or you are going to utilize in a program. Okay. Another one common mistake I find, there are most of the people even are your seniors and wherever I see, I find that they use the word datas. Datas is a wrong usage. Data itself is a plural. Itself is plural. Datum is a singular for data. The usage of the word datas is wrong, and this is some of the reasons why many of our students are not getting selected in interviews. Okay. So when I am teaching to you, I am teaching to you this in a interview perspective also, because Python is the most sorted programming language throughout. Okay. I've seen so many people using this word datas. Datas is wrong. Datum is the correct usage. So what is data? Data is the collection of information, and data types. Information is collected according to the requirements in different types. Okay. For example, your rank. Rank could be an integer. I'll teach you what is these things as we go on. So next we'll see what are string data types. We'll see how to create a string variable. So let us take for example, I'm using state as a variable name before value Kerala. Strings are created with single, double or triple quotes. So you can access a string in two ways. One, say state of 0 stands for K, state of 1 stands for E, or state of -1 stands for A, state of -2 stands for L, and so on. I'll show you this with the examples in the coming slide. So please listen here. I've declared a string called a subject. Now if I print subject of 0, I'll get A here. The first letter A here. That is what I meant by indexing a string, accessing the individual alphabets in a string. Okay. Subject of -1 stands for the last letter, N. Okay. So this is how you access each and every alphabet in a string, or each and every character in a string. Okay. Next one, the rules for declaring a string. I cannot declare Nayan here. I cannot say I cannot use numbers in the beginning because it is invalid. But I can use numbers anywhere else. Subject 9. That means I have to use here also subject. Right? I can use underscores. Subject underscore. I can use underscores. Okay? I can use numbers. I can use underscores. I cannot use numbers in the beginning. I cannot use characters in the beginning. Okay? I cannot use keywords. Say for example, class is a keyword. I cannot use class as a identifier. I'll get an error. I cannot use identifiers. Right? I can use class 1 here because class is a keyword in Python. Class, for, I cannot use for because for is a keyword. Okay? So these are certain rules that you have to follow while declaring variables. Now strings, have you understood how to declare a string? Say I wanted to declare a string, let me call a string by name state. I can declare this using double quotes, Kerala, and if I give, if I want to get the first letter of the state, I can give 0, I'll get K. I'll get K. Okay. And you know the same variable name I can use again. State is equal to Tamil Nadu. For example, I'm giving what I'll get, the state will take the second value, okay, not the first one. The same variable I can use again, but the value which is being given declared in the last will be taken, okay. In many other programming languages you will get an error. In Python you won't get any error. Only thing is that the second thing will be taken up. And similarly, one of the common mistakes that I've noticed from among the students is that you get an error because you have given a space here. You cannot give any extra spaces. Python is marked by indentation. So you cannot give space here. Whenever you give space, it has a different meaning. It is going to declare a block. So you cannot give a space. So when you do it in the second time, you will get it here. Same way, when you declare it as -1, you will get U here now. Because it is the last one. Okay? I am declaring a string variable called as name. I'll make it as first name. Okay, first underscore name. And I am giving a value of Meenakshi to this first name. Then I am declaring last underscore name and I am giving the value of K to this. Now I am going to do concatenation operation. That means I am going to add these two strings. First underscore name plus last underscore name. I'll get Meenakshi K, but I won't get any space in between. Okay. I'll get Meenakshi K here. Okay, I'll get Meenakshi K as the output, but there is no space here. So if I want a space, what I can do? I can add an empty space character here. Space, and then I can give plus. Now if I run, I'll get Meenakshi space K. This is concatenation or adding up of two strings. You can add one string with the other one. Okay. Same way, what happens if I multiply? If I give 2 into the first name, I'll get 2 times Meenakshi. Meenakshi and again Meenakshi. This is multiplication operation. Is that clear? All of you? First one concatenation, second one multiplication. You want to replicate the same set of characters n number of times, you can use multiplication operation. Third one is slicing. Suppose I wanted to get only Meena here. Okay. So what I can do is that I can give 0 colon 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Say 5. Now if I run like this, slicing means I'm taking only a part of the string. I can get Meena here. Okay. This is the lowest value. 0 stands for the low value. Suppose I wanted only the second half. KSHI. So what I'll do? 5 colon. I can give -1. Okay. So I'll get KSH. Okay. Next, what I can do is that I can even, if I want to eliminate the first character, I'm doing it like this: 1 colon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 letters, right? So I'm giving it as 8, for example. And next I'm giving step size as 2. What happens is that only this last one is this step size. So first one is there, E. This one is taken. Okay. After that, NA. This E is taken. 0, 1. The first letter, E, then N, K, and H. It is leaving 1 or 2 characters and taking the alternate ones. Let me explain to you this with one better. Or let me take it from 0 for the sake of convenience. After every character, 1 is left and the next one is taken. Okay. This 1 stands for, say for example, I'll make it as 2 for easy understanding. So it will take, see, it will take ME, it will take next to 2 letter N, E, M, E, it will take next 2 letters E, N, it is not taking, then it will take A, then 2 K, K and S, it is not taking, and it will take S. Okay, this is how you slice a string. Second thing is that I wanted to check if Meena is there in Meenakshi. Say for example, MEENA in first underscore name. This will return true or false. Whether Meena is there in first name or not, it will return true if it is there. Not in means it will return false. If you are giving not in, it will return false. If I am giving 1, for example, now it will return true because this is not there. Okay? But if you are giving it as in, it will return false. These are some of the basic string operations that is commonly used for programming. Okay, we have infinite number of operations that happens, but so here I have declared 3 variables. First one is first name. I've given it as Meenakshi. all in small letters. Last name K, capital letter. Third one, subject algorithmic thinking in Python, all in small letters. Now I am going to do the first thing is that I am going to create another one variable called as full name, and what I am going to do is that I am going to capitalize the first name. So you are learning the method capitalize. C A P T P capitalize. Capitalize the first name and then add with that the last name. And now I'm going to print full underscore name. It's a new variable, okay? Full name is a new variable that is going to store. See, now it has happened that you got Meenakshi K. So I want a space in between that. So what I'm doing, I am giving another space. So when I do like that, I get Meenakshi dot K. Right? All of you understood? Now I want to extract only the first four characters from full name. Okay? That is, I wanted to remove out Meena alone. I want to take out Meena alone. I am doing slicing, that is 0 colon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 5. First 5. Now when I type 0 colon 5, I am taking out all the values that begin from the first one, this first to 5. Okay. Another one thing I can tell you, 0 is optional. Even if you are not giving 0, the first 5 values will be taken out. Okay. If you give from 1 to 5, what happens? The 0th value is eliminated and the first value to the 5th value is taken out. Is that clear? Now same thing I can do, let me do it with subject. SUB, I am taking 0 colon 12. I'll get the first algorithmic alone here. Okay. I can I can create another one variable, subject underscore first underscore word. Something like that, so that the first word of the subject is being taken out. I have not given anything to print, that's why it is not coming like that. Subject underscore first underscore word means now I'll get algorithmic printed. Now I want to capitalize this. I can put it as capitalize subject underscore first underscore word. I'll get the first letter capital. Or I want this to be in uppercase. I can give it as dot upper, so that all these letters are converted into uppercase. Okay, when I put is upper, it is going to check whether it is upper or not, whether it is the uppercase or not, and it will give you the output false because it is not upper. Here it is not upper, you can see that it is all lower. But if I give is lower, it will return true because it is lower case. Understood? Did you all understand how to concatenate, how to multiply, how to slice, how to check if there is anything in that or not? Okay, suppose say I wanted to check if Python is there in the subject or not. So Python in SUB. This will return true because Python, the word Python is there here. If I am typing it as Java in subject, it will say false because Java is not there in this. Okay. If in is there, it will give in. Okay, in true. If it is not, it is going to do the other way around, just the inverse of whatever we have done. It will say false for not in. Or you say Java, it will give true. Java is not there in subject or not, it is true. That's it. Very simple English, simple way of doing it. Is that clear? Are all the operations very clear? Now we have another one operation which I will teach you. We'll call it as marks. Is numeric. Marks is equal to, say I'm putting it as 90, and I want to check whether it is numeric or not. Marks dot is numeric will return true for me. Numeric spelling was wrong. Is numeric true, but subject dot is numeric will return false because it does not have any numbers in it. Is that clear? Similarly, when I want to find out the length of the string, I can put length sub. I'll get some value 30. Okay? To find out the length of the alphabets in the string. So let me take a small recap of whatever we have done so far. We have learned how to concatenate strings. Strings are immutable, means you cannot change any one. Suppose I wanted to do, I'm giving first name of 0 is equal to m. I cannot replace this capital, the small m by capital M like this. First name of 0 is m. I cannot do that. Okay? I'll get an error. String does not support item assignment. Okay? Is that clear? You cannot change any kind of items, but you could replace it. You have a option called as replace. Okay, first underscore name dot replace m comma capital M. You could replace it, but you cannot give an assignment. Okay, so when you put replace, you can use change m with m. Okay, is that clear? Now what happens if you wanted to replace e, because you have two e? You have two e. Let me check what happens now, whether both or the first one is replaced. Both are replaced. Okay. Done. So I'll give you two small assignments to be done. One, what is the output of the following code? With reference to the above question, write a Python script to extract Python from SUB. Next, Next one, what are integers? Integer data type in Python. All of you, please listen here. So integers are whole numbers without fractions. There might be so much situations that is coming up where you don't need to have fractions. For example, number of students in a class, you can't have a decimal number there, am I right? You will have it only in whole numbers. Rank of students in an examination, number of chairs in your class, you can't have half a chair, right? So all these things which are in full are integers, whole numbers in integers, okay? So in integer data type itself we have octal and hexadecimal. Octal numbers are base to the 8 numbers, hexadecimal base to the 16, okay? We'll deal with this in our future sessions about what is octal and hexadecimal, okay? Suppose you can try this out. Suppose you wanted to print hexadecimal, okay, 0xf. F stands for 15, right? That's why you get here 15. So if you have a prefix 0x or 0x or ox prefix, it will be treated as a hexadecimal number. Instead of 0x, if it is 0o, it will be treated as octal. O stands for octal and hex stands for hexadecimal. Okay, is that clear? Okay, we'll do some integer examples. I'll repeat whatever I've said again, once again. Octal numbers and hexadecimal numbers can be declared using integers. Before that, I'll just teach you what to do with just integers. X is equal to 12 is an integer, okay? Print X, I'll get 12. I can print X plus 1 and so on, plus 2 and so on. So integer data types are whole numbers. Now I'll tell you how to declare octal numbers. Okay. And if I print X, I'll get it as 7. Right? And 1 0, I'll get it as 8. 1 1, I'll get it as 9. Octal numbers are the numbers with base 8. That means you have 0 to 7, 0 to 8, and then you have 1 0, 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, and so on. Okay, is that clear? These are the octal numbers. Basically, we are using all the numbers up to base 10, right? Up to 9, okay? And then 10, 11, and so on. In octal numbers, base is 8. Similarly, we have hexadecimal numbers with base 16. We have numbers from 0 to 9, and then we have A. A stands for 10. OXA. Now this will give me the output as 10. B 11. C 12. And so on. This is how we declare hexadecimal numbers and octal numbers in Python. The basis of octal and hexadecimal numbers we'll learn as we go on. In coming sessions, I'll be dealing some examples with hexadecimal and octal numbers for you to understand more clearly. So integers are nothing but whole numbers. Okay. Data type is nothing but floats. Floats are nothing but decimal numbers. For example, temperature of your room, marks scored by students in examinations. All these will have, say, 60.9, 50.8, 28.4, okay, 3.6 kilometers per hour. All numbers where we have decimal values is known as floats. So, while previously we have seen an example with floats, now I'll teach you. I'm going to convert meters into kilometers. Okay. Suppose I have 1000 meters, I want the output to be 1 kilometer. So let me put this example. D is equal to 1000. 1000 is an integer. Okay. Now this D in kilometers will be equal to D into 1 into 10 raised to minus 3, right? 1e minus 3. And when I print D in kilometers, I will get 1 kilometer as the output. Okay? Is that clear, all of you? So here, the only point is that whenever you write a float into 10 raised to minus whatever you wanted, see, E stands for into 10 raised to, that's all. You can replace this with any of these values, whichever you wanted to use. Okay? Is that clear for all of you? Should I repeat it? Is that okay? In float representation, you just need to put, suppose you wanted to write the speed of the light, that is c, that is 10 raised to 3 into 10 raised to 8. You just need to put c is equal to 3e8. And when you print c, you will get 3 into 10 raised to 8 as the value. So this is one representation of float numbers. Okay. Only E. E stands for, this is only for float values. This is a representation of floats. E raised to something, into something, 10 raised to something. E stands for into 10 raised to something. Okay. 3.1, convert meters to kilometers. I have done and shown you this. Next, when you come for the next lab, please write a Python program to find the area of a rectangle given its length and breadth. Write a Python program to find out the area of a rectangle given its length and breadth. The next data type is Boolean data type. We'll study Boolean data type with examples in the next lab session. So thank you all for listening to me.